Hey everybody, welcome to Asmodeah City. If you're returning, welcome back. You are a citizen of the city as well and well met. If you are not a citizen of the city yet and this is your first time, welcome to Asmodeah City. I am Lord Giarth, I'll be your jungle cruise director, or let's call it, for this particular adventure. And today we're going to be talking about a module for the Foundry VTT virtual tabletop. And if you're a player, this may or may not be for you. And you're certainly welcome to stay and watch us, as I like to say, make sausage. But this is really more for the DMs who are trying to make playing easier for you and shorten the time that it takes to kind of get you started and bring you on board. So we are talking about a module that was made by Mr. Primate, and it is called Tokenizer. And I will leave a link in the description to show you where to find that externally from the VTT tabletop, but I'm also going to show you where you can install it directly in the tabletop itself. So let's get started with this. Let's talk about the module called Tokenizer for the Foundry Virtual Tabletop right after this. All right, everybody, let's get into this. Again, my name is Lord Giarth. If this is your first time here and you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button because we've got a lot of cool stuff that's coming up, and smash that like button if you like this video. And do leave us a comment. It helps us grow the channel, but more importantly, it gives me some feedback that tells us kind of how we're doing, if we're missing anything, if we need to update stuff. So, tell us about it. We'd love to hear that. Now, before we get started, I'm going to tell you once again, to remind you that we have a growing quickly Discord community at discord.asmodeah.com, and you'll see the URL here. I'll leave it down below as well for you. And please join us there, especially if you're a newer player, or actually, even if you're an experienced player, please come in and help those that are new. I love helping new players to kind of learn how to play, give them some tips and tricks, answer some questions about things that all of us have gone through as players over the years, and trying to give them some insight that will help them kind of be better players and help them to learn how to play more. So now that out of the way, let's talk about this module, shall we? And the module is called Tokenizer. And again, it was made by a module creator called Mr. Primate. And for those of you that have been around Foundry VTT, you probably know who this is, Sebastian. So if I usually don't do this, but just for the sake of maybe some newer people that are running the Foundry for virtual tabletop, I'm going to go back to the setup, and you'll see I've got the add-on modules here. And let me just kind of zip down to see if, I did it. Wow, I got right to it. There is the Tokenizer module. You can see I've got it installed. And as of this particular recording, it is at, let's see, we're at version 3.9.3. There is a new version of Foundry Tabletop that is coming out, or has come out actually. I don't recommend, as of this recording, I don't recommend that you upgrade yet. There are still some little tweaks and bugs and things. And plus you got to make sure all your modules have caught up as well if you want to use them. So at any rate, here's where you can find it. And I will, again, leave this link down below. But of course, obviously, you can go in here and you can just go to your installer to install the new module. And I'm just going to put in Tokenizer or Tokeni. There we go. And you'll see Tokenizer I have already installed. So if it wasn't installed, you could just like this one here, you could click the install button and install it directly into your Foundry world and then activate it as necessary in each of the worlds that you want. So let's go back to the world, and I've got a billion of them here. Let's go to my test world, and you'll see that my buddy Gendon, and for those of you that have been watching my videos, you've seen Gendon before for sure. My buddy Gendon is here, and he's in this cool circle, which is kind of what we try to build up for most of our player characters and even our NPCs. Some of them, although you can see these dead orcs that are here, they were not tokenized. But making this token just kind of looks cooler. And if we go back, let me go over to my actors here, and I go to Gendon and my buddy Gendon. If I have this avatar here, and I haven't tokenized him already, I could drag him, and actually, let me move this out of here. I could drag him onto the map, and he would just be that square. He would just this avatar would be what represents him. And so tokenizing kind of turns them into this really cool circular framed image that may or may not be actually so for example, if you have an avatar and the avatar is a full body shot of your player, you can in your tokenizer zoom in and make it just the face to make it a little easier to recognize them, right? So let's do that, shall we? Now let's say that you have a player that's new, and that player's come in, and let's say they haven't created an image or given you an image yet. So I'm going to create a new actor or player, and I'm just going to call him Bob Smith, just for grins. And he's player character, and I'm not going to select folder because I don't have any other ones here that I want to use. And I'm just going to put him in here. Now we have this Bob Smith that by default has this little mystery dude, right? With the white shroud mystery face. So if I'm using, and there is a D&D Beyond plugin that you can use, the D&D Beyond Importer, and I highly recommend you become a patron of them so that you can push as well as pull characters from D&D Beyond. I think it's awesome. But let's say that you pulled that character in, and it's got an image that's here. Now, I don't have one here, but let's say you did. Or let's say you clicked on here and you selected an image. So let's just pick, how about David Shire's portrait? Let me see what that looks like. That may or may not be what I want to use. Oh, okay, yeah, we could use that. All right, so here we got this character's image, and we want to now make a token out of that really simply. It's so cool how this works. If you simply click on the name, oh, I'm sorry, no, you got to right click, and you go down to Tokenizer because you have to, of course, you have to have the module installed, and you also have to have it activated for this world. You'll see this Tokenizer option, right? So if I click on that, look at how it just kind of creates a frame. It takes the avatar that is already part of the character's player character sheet, but it creates this cool token with a frame around it, and this is kind of the default token that it picks for whatever reason. I can then delete this by coming here and just deleting that frame, and then come down and say, I want to add a new frame. Now look at all these frames that you've got. I mean, these are by default. I didn't add anything new. These are default frames. These come with the Tokenizer plugin. So, I mean, there's all sorts of cool frames in here. Let's just pick one. Let's get one, not a purple one. Let's do this. All right. So there you go. We've got this new frame that's around him, and you can see by default it cuts away or masks, and you can see that by looking at this little mask icon here. If I turn that off, you'll see it doesn't mask it. If I turn it on, it does. And it masks away so that when the token is created, that token then is round as opposed to square, right? So now I can change the background color if I want to. So you can see it's white right now. If I wanted to change that to, let's turn it into this kind of muddy color here. And all you do, by the way, is drag and select that. Oh, you know what? You're not able to see that. That's too bad. My mouse is hovering over a color picker on this top left. So my bad. I don't know why that's not showing up for you, but I am picking this little kind of red color up in the upper left-hand corner. All right. So then if I just click here, you'll see that there is a color background here, but of course you're not seeing it here because this image has a white background. But if you didn't have any background on your image, it was transparent around it, you would then see that color there if you wanted to use that. All right, so now you can see down at the bottom, the name that it selects by default is the first underscore last name dot token dot webp. That's what it names all these tokens. Now, the only thing I'm going to warn you about here is if you're like me, where you have lots of players, lots of different games going on, and then those games go away over time. And you've had all these players that have joined and all these tokens that have been created, that can start to stack up on you. So you want to make sure that you kind of keep track of those, because you don't necessarily want to have all these old tokens laying around. Not that they're huge, but still, it's a good idea to kind of clean them up over time. Now, before I actually save him, you can see there is this mask option, but there's also this lock here that enables and disables your ability to edit that layer. Now, this is the layer that is the image of our Bob Smith character. So I'm going to unlock that. And now I can use my mouse to scroll out, so I can zoom out, I can drag him around, or let's say I want to get really close up and I want to make him just his face there, so he's super easy to see. There, you have that option to be able to do that. And of course, you could always delete this frame and put a different frame on if you like. It's totally up to you. There's a lot of different options here, and you can go, move these, like you can move your frame down, which I don't recommend that you do, because obviously you want it to be on the top, but you can do that if you want to. So now that we have this exactly the way that we want it, we'll go ahead and click on OK, and it has now saved that token and attached it to Bob Smith. So now when I bring Bob Smith out, there we go. We've got that cool little token. Otherwise, I would have just had that square image of Bob Smith. So that is the way to create a token using Tokenizer as one of the fastest, simplest ways within Foundry. So you don't have to go to some other website to do this, or you don't have to go into Photoshop or anything else to create these tokens. That is the fastest and, in my opinion, the coolest way to be able to create a token for your new player characters really super quick and make it super easy for them. So thank you again for being here. Again, if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button if you like this video, and please join us over on our Discord server, the discord.asmodeah.com. We'd love to see you there and interact with us, talk with us, help other players, learn some new things, advertise yourself as a player. You can do all kinds of cool things there. And you can subscribe to us as well to help us build up that Discord server, and you get a bunch of perks for that. So that's available. You'll see that if you join, you'll see the option for you to take a look at that. Anyway, thank you again for being here. Really happy to see you. And as always, when you're adventuring, be careful, be safe, and be kind. Peace.